Hello, Peter. How are you? This is Guillermo Lira from Watches World. Thank you for having us for these minutes. Thank you very much.
Hey, no worries at all. Nice to meet you.
Thank you. Well, Peter, how's your life now nowadays with all your training and with all this COVID-19 that we have? How are you preparing for next year?
Yeah, well, it's definitely relatively crazy times at the moment. I think, if you're looking forward at the beginning of last year, not many people would believe how much has changed in this time. But I think we're also incredibly lucky that for myself, I compete in both the Olympic environment and the America's Cup environment for sailing. And we're incredibly lucky that the Olympic Games have announced a delay instead of cancellation, which is great. So they are now at exactly the same time in 21 as to what they would have been in 20. And then also the America's Cup is I think just late enough. It's a bit of a shame that the America's Cup World Series events have been cancelled, but for the America's Cup itself to be able to stay on the same date and to hopefully be one of the first really big events off the back of this COVID-19 period, it's pretty exciting.
Well, that's very good news, and we're eager to watch the America's Cup next year. And seems that it's in your same country, and you have you're also training in New Zealand, right? So you're getting really familiar with the area, and you were born there, so that's some of significance for you in your career.
Yeah, it's something that sailing's pretty special down here in New Zealand, and for some reason the America's Cup really connects with Kiwis. And definitely when I was growing up, I can remember the America's Cup campaigns and the likes of 2000 and when was the last time the America's Cup was won on home soil here in New Zealand, and it's just absolutely massive. And it's something that I think fires us up as a team to try and make sure we keep it here for a little while longer. But I think we're already quite lucky in this country as well that the Corona COVID kind of situation is starting to get slightly more under control. We've got 0 active cases in New Zealand at the moment. So,
well, you have been a medalist, gold medalist, silver medalist in the Olympics. You have been winning a lot of regattas and all that. How somebody as you, as a high performance athlete, what are your main learnings of this era in the world with this pandemic?
Yeah, well, I think the way I've ended up dealing with it is just getting on with it and trying to make the best of whatever situations thrown at you. I think most of us probably didn't see that this virus being quite as bad as what it has been, but you've kind of just got to get on with it and deal with the changing landscape. And we're really trying to make sure we utilize the time as best we can. Keep fit and healthy in safe ways. For us, we're at the back end of the worst of our lockdown for the first wave so far. But for that, it was a lot of indoor training, which has been incredibly challenging. I think something that you already spend a lot of time planning, but then with the plans being tipped on their head and having to come up with new ideas, new concepts of how to achieve the goal.
Let me talk about a little bit about timing, because we're with our friends of Omega. And maybe you can express everybody how important is exact timing for the sport that you play.
Exact timing's incredibly critical. Both in an America's Cup environment and also Olympic environment. Definitely how our races start is very much based off timing. Some really strong correlations between how well you can manage time and how efficient you are, and at the end of the day, the more efficient you are, the more you can get done. So that's something that we're always really trying to push for efficiency.
Do you have any prior experience with Omega, being you Olympic athlete? I think you have seen Omega all over the sports, but how is your prior experience with Omega watches before they announced that they are going to be the official timekeeper of the American Cup?
It'll be about 4 years now. But we've had a relationship for a little bit longer than that. But more, I suppose, getting to know each other through both their relationship with the Olympics and the America's Cup. And then when I actually became an ambassador, they were involved in an offshore race where they were the official timekeeper. I think it's something that, the connection between Omega and sport is, very strong, but also that connection with, really striving for excellence and perfection with everything they do is, another thing we have, in a lot of common.
What do you think about the new watch, the Omega Planet Ocean, this year for the competition, the red, blue, and white watch? What do you think about that watch?
Yeah, it's definitely a pretty cool watch. I've got a bit of an engineering background, so I really, I suppose, enjoy seeing the mechanical watches and how they go together and how well they do. I suppose an incredibly complex task with such a small bit of space, and it's something that is so well defined to keep getting evolved and keep getting developed, and the boundaries to keep being pushed. So it's great. Omega's managed to choose such a, I suppose, cool looking watch as well, not just with the internals, to be with us for this America's Cup campaign.
If somebody asks you the main characteristics that a watch should have for your sport, which will be the best watch or the best characteristic that a watch should have for you to wear at training and in the competition?
Yeah, well, I think apart from the obvious in terms of keeping the time really well and the mechanics, I think the robustness and weight and how they fit to your wrist is something that is very critical as well. That you've got to be very comfortable with what you use, and you definitely get used to it.
Well, as you know, Omega make mechanical watches and digital ones. If you were to sail, let's see, like the ocean race or a race very, very large, or you're going to be in the sea for a long time, will you prefer a mechanical watch or you prefer a digital one?
Well, I think I prefer the mechanical ones just because I think they're pretty cool. They're something that is incredibly reliable and work incredibly well. But they definitely are slightly heavier, and it's pretty hard to get a mechanical watch to be quite as accurate as a digital one. So I think they both have their time and place a little bit.
Do you prefer one watch? Do you have one watch of Omega that you really, really like, the one that you like the most?
I've got a couple now, and I think I enjoy them for different reasons. I've got a Speedmaster, which is pretty cool, but then also some of the Planet Ocean the ones are pretty amazing as well, just a bit more simple and not as much going on, so they're probably a bit easier to use for certain situations. And it's definitely I think each watch has its home and its place where it's really, really good.
Peter, let's shift a little bit from timepieces to a little bit of your life, because a lot of people, and I think there are a few people that can be gold medalists in the Olympics and do things like that, like you do. So maybe you can talk to the people about what are your main 5 learnings from life so far.
Oh, it's definitely a tricky question. I don't know. I think my main one is just try and keep an open mind and trying to keep improving yourself. And definitely when you look at things in a sportive sense, I suppose things aren't very finite. There's always not really an end to where you can take things and how much detail you can push into a certain environment. It's definitely something that at the end of all these campaigns, the one thing you do run out of is time. So if you've either worked, so generally most of the time most people are trying to work harder but also smarter, and to work smarter you need to not afraid to take a hard look at things that are probably quite entrenched, and not be afraid to change things that need to be changed, but also be smart to pick your battles in terms of what things you're actually going to get good return for.
People will look at the America's Cup, and I have been going to some of the competitions of the America's Cup in the past, but we just see the boats and we see the crews. But can you speak a little bit of how is your life training for this competition? It seems like it's a very long training in a teamwork.
Yeah, well, it's definitely pretty busy. It's something that these boats really push the cutting edge in terms of technology and development, and there's, I suppose, a lot of different avenues to try and improve them. So one of my roles within the team is to kind of, I suppose, be between the sailing team and the design team, and really understand all the processes that the design team's going through to try and make the boat go fast. And I suppose there's so many options where you can take different paths and different avenues to try and improve and to try and really make sure you pick the right ones, because you can make sure you can waste a lot of time if you don't. So my role's kind of split up between, I suppose, physical training, the on-water training we do, but then a lot of design and data work as well to try and make sure we're picking out the right options to improve our boat and going down the right pathways in terms of our development and where we're putting our resource into to hopefully achieve the end goal.
For you, Peter, which are the main challenges that you're facing for the 2021 Cup?
Yeah, probably the main challenges everyone faces. Just trying to make sure you pick your battles and you get the most out of every situation you can. It's something that it's going to be pretty incredible competing at home, but with that probably comes a lot of pressure. But I think it's something that I quite enjoy, that pressure. We've had so many situations now where you're having to perform under pretty high pressure. Whether it was in the Olympics in 2016 where I was the flag bearer for New Zealand, and then you have to go out and compete pretty much the next day, or in Bermuda where we're kind of so many Kiwis up there and so much riding on the performance we could put down. So it's something that it's going to be very interesting competing on home soil. I think we had a taste of it when we had the World Champs for our Olympic boat, and it was pretty incredible to see how many Kiwis were getting up and supporting that. And, how many more will get out to support the Cup will just be ridiculous. It's going to be a pretty incredible time down here. I think something that we'll definitely have some pretty fond memories of for the rest of our lives. So we're just really trying to make sure we make the most of it and enjoy it.
Well, let's invite everybody to join with all these America's Cup 2021. You can we can follow it through the internet. Peter, thank you very much. We're transmitting from Mexico. We have a lot of sea, and maybe sometimes you can come with your boats around some, maybe not America's Cup, but maybe sometime to sail in one of our beautiful beaches. Have you been to Mexico sometime?
No, but I'd love to. Probably more for surfing than sailing. I've had a lot of mates go and have some amazing holidays, and there's so many amazing breaks around that time. It's something I quite enjoy in my downtime, surfing. So,
well, Peter, have a great training from here to the competition, and we will be monitoring everything through the internet. Thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thanks again.